Are you someone that's ever considered professional casting as a career? If you have, you need to watch this video. Today, we're talking to Maxman30 about what it takes to be a professional caster. Maxman is actually a professional caster that has been all over the world, sent there by various different games to cast those professional tournaments for lots and lots of money. Let's go ahead and bring Max on in. What's up, guys? It's Dusky coming to you today talking about being a caster for various different games or any kind of events, anything like that. I have with us Maxman30, one of the most famous casters out there. If you haven't heard of him, you need to go check him out. I will have his YouTube link, his Twitch link, all in the description, everything like that. Max, what's up? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I agree with everything you just said, except maybe for famous. You could have added good looking in there. I would have been pretty happy about that, but you didn't do it. That was a great opportunity. But yeah, I'm doing great. And, thanks so much for having me on for the show today. And hopefully I can answer a few little fun questions for you guys today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said in your Twitch stream the other day, you are a Hollister model, right?
I mean, now I actually feel really bad because last time you came on my stream, I was wearing the same shirt. Yeah. That must give a really bad.
That was like 2 weeks ago. That was like 2 weeks ago. So.
But no, yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, Hollister. I'm a fanboy. I love it. It's a cool brand, and I'm like, where the hell not? So
awesome.
Yeah. They take all my money.
Heck yeah, there you go. Well, let's just get started out with just tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started gaming? What was like the first game that you played? When did you start casting? What did you realize? Hey, this is it. This is what I want to do. Kind of go into a little bit of background there.
Okay. Well, already, I started casting when I really didn't want it. I didn't know I was going to do casting. I didn't know people that talk about video games actually make money. I did not know at the start. So I started, I would say, a good old maybe 5 years ago with a game called Vainglory. It's not super well known, but it was like a MOBA on mobile. And I started getting involved over there, doing YouTube videos, doing Twitch streams, all that good stuff, and I was under a lot of fun. And I started understanding I'm actually really interested in gaming in general. I want to try and make a full-time job out of it in some way, shape, or form. At the time, I just didn't know how. And then in December of 2017, when I was studying, programming and all that stuff, I was really bad, by the way, at programming. I was I'm definitely not going to make a full-time job out of creating games. I prefer playing them. That's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And I actually had the opportunity in 2017 to go to the Vainglory World Championship in Singapore. By the way, just for point of reference, I live in France. So that's pretty big trip.
That's a haul, yeah.
So I went over there as to work as just to help out. I didn't make any money there. I had to pay for my plane ticket and everything. I paid full price, and I went there because I wanted to see what is esports all about. And I went there, and it was literally, maybe not to this day, but it was one of the best weeks of my life. It was super fun. I was sweating every day. It was super hot in Singapore. The temperature is insanely bad, but it was just such a great experience. And I came back to France, and I was like, I want to do this as a full-time job. And then I had opportunities come left and right to do little scrims, little tournaments. At the start, I did them in French. Then I started transitioning over into English. Mm-hmm. And I was just this is actually so much fun. I want to try and do a career out of this. I want to be a full-time esports caster, but I didn't know how. And one day, randomly, when I was starting to slowly get into PUBG Mobile, I got a tweet of a guy saying, hey, they need someone in Kiev for a month. And they were like, well, that's cool. I'll try it out. I didn't think I was going to get picked. I'm like, hey, yeah, guy. I did one PUBG Mobile tournament, one for maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
Would you like to have me in Kiev? And they were like, oh, hell yeah, man. We're flying you in 2 days. And that was during my A-level exams, by the way. I'm just saying that my school let me go to Kiev for an entire month in Ukraine and cover that event. And since there on out, I've been able to make a full-time living out of esports casting just because of a simple tweet. So it started from nothing into what is today me going in in 3-4 days going to Dubai for the World Championship of PUBG Mobile, which is it's an insane story. I think I'm extremely lucky and humble to be able to get these opportunities, but it literally came from nothing and was able to grow in this big thing. That was a big answer. There you go. That's big.
Hey, no, I asked 8 questions, so I appreciate the big answer and very detailed. That's awesome. So you sent out a tweet and they came back and said, hey, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. They just came for just the guy said, hey, by the way, Max, I think you'll be good for that. Okay, well, here you go. Here's my resume. And You'll take them because they were like I was replacement for other casters. They like cancelled last minute and they said we need someone. And actually, like by me going there, I taken the main caster's position. They were like, yeah, we're not going to take them anymore.
Yeah.
Just going to stick with you, Max. And it's like, well, I mean, I won't say no. Hell yeah, take me again. I'll take it.
Absolutely. Like sign me up. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. So I mean, you literally like just sent a tweet and they just that's crazy and just fantastic. So outside of, I know you said you started with Vainglory. What other games are you casting? I know you said PUBG Mobile in there as well. What are some of the games that you're professionally casting?
Well, I did cast a little. Like I almost casted full-time professionally for Vainglory until the game like died and imploded and just like turned into a black hole of like nothingness. But I did do a tournament with Razer for the WSG like tournament that was in China or something. That was pretty fun. But now as I'm a full-time main caster and also analyst as of recently, also for PUBG Mobile. So I do that like it's like I'm freelancer, but I call it free like full-time because I can make a full-time living out of it. Even though I am still a student. I'm like juggling. It's really hard, guys. If you want to be a caster, don't be a student at the same time. It's super hard to juggle it. But like right now, PUBG Mobile, I got 2 games on my radar also right now, mainly 3 also. I got myself Call of Duty Mobile, which I'm doing a little bit of casting on the side, trying to gain experience and maybe get into the esports scene that has yet to be fully pushed forward. And also League of Legends Wild Rift. Currently I'm a streamer on it. I do streams almost on a daily basis. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The game is awesome, and they did confirm that 2021 is going to have like a fully fledged esports scene, so I'm going to try and get involved over there, even though there's going to be a lot of top tier casters, so there's going to be a lot of competition, but it's still fun to give it a try. And I'm also looking forward to Apex Legend Mobile. That's going to be coming out in early beta this year. So Apex Legend, it's pretty similar in the terms of battle royale, like COD Mobile Battle Royale and PUBG Mobile Battle Royale. So I'm going to give it a shot also. But that's like mainly anything just mobile gaming, I'll get into it.
Nice. Yeah, I did a Twitch stream the other day and talked about the various different games that are coming out for mobile gaming. And we talked about, Apex Legends, Wild Rift, and just other various games that, that people can make a living on, like just making content for them. And, both of those, most of those games that we're talking about right now were in that. So, I mean, I was speaking more on like content creation, but, also, casting is a very, very good option for that. Now, what did you mean by analyst? Is that a kind of a form of casting or?
Well, so to explain, I'm going to explain like the different roles in casting. I think that's really important to do actually. So a caster, like when you're a caster, you got 2 different roles. You got play-by-play casting and color casting. Play-by-play is the person who's going to go like, oh, be careful, he's going to go in for the triple kill, and that's going to be an ace. Round number 2 goes over to team A.
Kind of
like they're the person guy. Like the hype man. There goes the hype man. He brings forward the hype. He brings forward the big moments, and he breaks it down in a way that is very easy to understand for like your more casual audience.
Right.
And then you got your color caster that comes in on the side, and he actually fills in for example, in a MOBA, you'd have like a fight and then like a time where it's like it's full of nothingness, there's not too much happening, it's very slow pace. Like in Battle Royales 2, like PUBG Mobile, the early game is all about rotations, is very chill, very relaxed. And you want to have a person like, break down and just analyze what's happening in those games. And a color caster adds, in fact, color to the entire scene. That's why it's called a color caster, because he just explains the minute details, like, oh, this team did this thing. This is why this thing is very important. You can drive forward like a little story on every single game.
Right.
And then outside of casting, you got like different roles, which are going to be host. So host is like the person that's going to be like, welcome to the finals. My name is blah, blah, blah. And today we're going to be having match 1. Like he's the one that's like the face of the event and like drives forward the entire format in a way.
Gotcha.
And also you got analysts. And that's a role in which I got involved with as of recently when I was in Poland, like just a few weeks ago for a PUBG Mobile tournament in Katowice, is actually people that are next to the host. The host actually asks questions to the analyst, and we like have to basically break down like teams, like how do you think this team is going to be doing? Or I think this team is going to be doing great because as of recently, we talked to the manager. They've been trying to shift up their rotations. They're trying to change their play style. We're there to actually break down what happened in the game beforehand and also kind of drive forward a story for the next game and say what we are expecting.
Gotcha.
And kind of like just we're the transition point from game to game while the TOs, which are TO means tournament organizer, set up the next lobby, the next group of games, and so we can start them. So it's just like a little break segment, and analysts do exactly that.
Cool. Very cool. That's great. Yeah, that's a lot of moving parts. And honestly, that jumps into my next question, like some of the behind the scenes stuff. Like I remember, I think I was watching some of the Clash of Clans casters out there. They would, they talk about, the timing of everything and how they would, they would start to, like, one person would start to build up energy, and then the next person would have to, like, maintain that energy. And, like, you couldn't have, like, somebody that was, like, super energetic and then, like, then, like, a guy that was just very monotone to just kind of, just da, 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 da. So I think I saw a lot about that, and which I thought was really interesting. Do you want to expound any more on that? Like, are there, like, other different kind of, like, cues and stuff like that? Like, what happens behind the scenes, if you're allowed to talk about it?
I really find that really important to talking about that. Like, that's an issue of pacing. I actually had to deal with myself just like a few months ago. And pacing is really important, because you said if you've got a really hype person and a very chill person, which does happen pretty often when you're pairing out different casters together to test, pacing is very important. So if you've got, like, a hype moment, it's really good to have, like, a caster, a co-caster that you trust, to know that they can take you and pick you up from that same level and slowly drive it back down. Because if you got, like, a super hype moment and it's like, oh, be careful, guys, that was a really good play, it ruins everything, really. You need someone that stays at the same level and that takes it back down. When it goes back up, whoa, he can hype you up a little bit, then you take it back at the highest point, at the peak moment, and it continues. So pacing is very, very important, not only for casters but also for analysts. You want to try and keep a little bit of continuity in a way, to make the show a little bit easier to digest in a way.
Right.
But not only that, like, there's so many, like, extra things in the back end that happen. For example, when you see, I don't know if you watch ESL CSGO tournaments, or, like, just CSGO tournaments in general. Every single time the day ends, they have, like, a meeting, which is called a storyline meeting. And what they do, they talk about what happened that day, what do they want to drive forward as a story for the next day, and then they'll just do, like, graphics and all that good stuff. And, like, there's a lot of work outside of the actual on-air time. It's not like casters are and analysts are on the show, they do the show, they're done, and they go back home and not work. They put a lot of work into it. Like, we got spreadsheets, we got to do data mining, we got to do research with the players, like interview the players sometimes. They're called media days, where you get, like, interview and create content. Casting and doing all of that is, like, not just I'm good at talking and breaking down the game. Is actually, like, it's a lot of commitment outside of, like, on-air stuff. And it does take a lot of time, but it's fun. Like, who would say no to, like, working in esports and working on video games competitive scenes? Like, it is super fun. It's, like, the best game in the world. I've never until now had a real real job, because I'm not gonna lie, what I do right now is not a real job, and I'm happy. I'm having fun with it. Hey, like, dude, if I went to a real job, I'll be like, this sucks. I want to go back to esports. If it
pays the bills, it is a real job.
Yes. It pays real good sometimes.
There you go. But that's crazy. I mean, just the amount of, like, preparation and everything like that goes into it that nobody sees. Like, everybody just sees, these two dudes or two people sitting there talking, and, they're getting hyped, and then they're just done. And, that people just think that, hey, well, I guess that was that. That's all they just put a little bit of preparation in, and that was about it. But that's pretty eye-opening to see that there's that much preparation in everything.
Yeah, it does take a lot of time to do it. It makes me think too, like, in my early times of casting, and even sometimes today, I get some hate. It's normal when you're, like, a social figure, like, on social media platforms. You're always going to get, like, those little haters and too, and people like, oh, I don't like that. I'm like, well, try and do it yourself. And some people indeed took me up on the challenge and tried to, like, help me cast on, like, tournaments, and it was the worst thing ever. It is not easy. And I think that people got to understand that it takes some time to get to a level where, like, you make something watchable, because, like, you just take any random person and it will not be made. Like, it is hard to do. Some people do it, like, naturally and will be really good. And you should, if you are good at, like, talking and, like, talking in public, you should definitely give it a try. Casting might just be the thing for you. But some people just are not made for it and will never be a good caster, unfortunately. So you got to be a little bit lucky also.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of time and work to do it. And if you got the drive, like, you can do anything, really.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's talk about what is your absolute highest and most favorite time that you've ever casted, like, the most fun, like, everything was going right. You were just, like, you were at almost like having a high from just casting, just having so much fun. What was that moment?
Are we talking event specific, or are we talking, like, a specific play, like, or just a little snippet?
Either one.
Anything?
Just any
okay,
moment.
I'll do both. You know what?
Yeah.
I'll just do it. Let's go both. So, like, the most hype moment, like, the cool moment I had was, like, when I was in Poland, like, was it 3 months ago? And I was casting a play, and we had one player of TSM. TSM, the esport org. They were playing in PUBG Mobile, PMWL World League. at this time, World League East, and there was actually one player of TSM that's called Jonathan, really well-known player in India for PUBG Mobile, and he was alone in a field, and it was like all the teams in front of him, and he was like alone for like the longest time, and then all these teams in front of him are just like sticking around, taking their own fight, and the guy just peeks up and like eliminates everyone and just takes the entire game like in just a split second. And I went for like a hype moment, like super hype, and like that clip there was like reposted on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit. It was posted everywhere, and like that alone, and like the fact that so many people shared it, and like there was, and the fact also that there was no comments on the casting made me so happy, because if people do not comment on your casting, that means you're doing your job well.
Yeah.
To me at least. So, and I felt very satisfied with that happening.
Nice.
And so that would be like the snippet. And then in terms of
right around the corner, I'm pretty sure he's not going to try and go for the third party. He's just going to wait for them to move on forward to go for the backstab.
So he's like, you don't see me. You don't see me. I am John Cena. Do.
Indeed, yeah, very good statement. But Jonathan is still there. He's got the hail bell. He's got great possibility of taking this game. The circle, actually, you see it right now, goes over to both Maxman30 and iShots. iShots got knocked away. But the grenade did come on through, not quite able to get anything extra. But they should send Rex and Yuhai actually on the fight, and Valdez get rid of the team to confirm their position. They can't anymore, though. Maxman30 got knocked away by Jonathan.
Jonathan, we know him as one of the best fraggers in the world. He is considered a one-man wrecking machine. He's gotten down 2 members of Team Secret, but Valdez gets another member of Team Secret, leaving Yuhai the last man standing.
How was Martin allowed to get that kill? There's no way. Why would you just just go for the Bloom play, and that would have been perfectly fine. Team Secret, though, now down to 1 player. That's going to be Yuhai. You know there's no way Jose's going to go for that push. He goes for the push, and there you have it. Armjane gets confirmed. Zuxi comes out of his nice slumber, but Jonathan goes for the re-engage and gets rid of Bigatron in 4th position. Jonathan is making it happen.
You talk about the snakes of Sanhok. What about the craziness in the fields of Erangel as Jonathan pushes his way forward, knowing that he's 1 player up? Is this going to be the chicken dinner? It is TSM 2 in 1 day. Jonathan, the one-man army, climbing through.
What was that? Jonathan, they went against Freestar earlier. They kept him alive. Like, we mentioned, it was maybe a little bit of a risky play.
It was terrible, really.
It was weird. It was for sure. But, man, they got the win. My microphone is going off me right now. That was an intense finish. TSM Jonathan taking the game for his team as they secure their 3rd chicken dinner in PMWL.
Let's make no bones about it. Team Secret messed up big time at the end. They were up as a full squad, they had plenty of space, but they kind of played the edge and they got ticked off 1 by 1. There should have been an instant reaction the second Jonathan fired up from the side. They should have been way more reactive, but they paid the price. At the end of the day, Yaznai was a killer.
Team Secret, they got taken out dominantly by Jonathan. Not even Flex Tape can fix that. With that said, a lot of stuff to break down. We're going to be sending it over to the desk.
The snippet, and then in terms of events, I don't think I've had it just yet, and I think that big moment is going to be me in Dubai in like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
I think that's going to be the big one, because it's my first like actual like LAN event, even though there's not going to be a crowd because COVID. But I think my best moment has yet to come in like 2 weeks.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And are you staying at the 7-star hotel over there?
I think it's like a 17-star hotel or something like that. I don't know. It's gonna be a good place for sure. I haven't been told where we're gonna be staying, but it's Dubai. It's gonna be good.
That's awesome, dude. That's so cool. Oh man, that's great.
You want to come with me? I'll take you. I got like
I'm
2
down.
Luggage positions. So yeah,
yeah. One of them 6'5". And do you mind carrying around 250
I might have to get
pounds?
a new piece of luggage, but you know what? We can make it work. It's fine.
That's funny. And so moving on, what would you say is your absolute, and if you don't feel comfortable talking about this, perfectly fine. What would you say is the absolute worst moment that you've had so far? Like, what was like, everything was going wrong, like the lights weren't working or something like technical difficulties, or like you just couldn't, you just were hungover from the day before, or like what was your absolute worst moment so far?
So I had like one bad moment. Otherwise, like a few tricky moments. I had like one really bad moment. Last year is actually 2019 September. Was actually the worst moment in my casting career yet. What happened is that I was casting PUBG PC PL Contenders Phase 3 in Kiev in Ukraine. And at the time you had like a meme. I don't know if you heard about this meme. Probably it was a really bad meme, but it was the meme that was basically your mum gay. You know that meme. Like
Yeah.
it's a dumb meme. You know, it's really dumb meme. And I'm like really onto Reddit all the time. And I was on stream and I was like feeling, haha, I want to be a little quirky guy. I want to sow my meme culture out there. And I'm gonna say your mum gay on stream, which was yeah, they exactly. Oh, everyone did that. And I was like, ha ha ha, I am not like no issue. I think it's just a funny joke. And I did it, and then I got wave of people on Twitter, and I was like, oh no. I was in a little bit of a tricky position.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to say it's fine. Like, it was definitely a dumb mistake on my end, which, you know, people do mistake. It's just my mistake happens to be in front of 30,000 people at the time. We're live, which was not fun whatsoever.
Awesome.
And but I think that now looking back, I think it's good that I did do that mistake. Reason why is because now I got a completely different look on what I say before I say it. And I'm able to know and analyze, okay, this is a little bit of a risk. If it's even just 1% risky, I just chuck it out. It's just not worth the effort. It's not worth taking risk whatsoever. And, you know, I didn't mean any like offense by doing that whatsoever. And I think that people understood that. But it was a very stressful moment. I was like, oh, my casting career is over. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. But like everyone on the TO side understood it was a joke. They're like, don't worry about it. You got a few people that were a little bit annoyed by that and like a little bit outraged, which I can understand. And you know what? That's completely fair. But it is casting at the end of the day. Whatever you say will have an impact. And you always got to be careful of what you say. And don't try and be edgy like I was. It's never going to work out for you.
That's oh, man. I bet like you probably like thought about that and you were just like, oh. God.
I saw the window next to me. I was like, I'm going to jump out of you. I'm going to go. I'm going there.
Golly, man, that's tough. So I think that we can kind of wrap up with I want you to give 3 pieces of advice to 3 different sets of people. The first set of people, somebody just now starting out, somebody that, you know, watched Maxman30 casting, was like, damn, that was awesome. I want to do that too. Like, what is your advice to that person?
So first piece of advice to that kind of person, I would say, is like, just, and I know this might be a bit annoying, but like, if you want to make money, especially from casting, I understand, but like, you got to work for free at the start. Like, you really, really have to. Before I got any paid gig, I worked 2.5 years making $0, $0, 0 pesetos, 0 nothing. Like, I got absolutely nothing from casting at the start, because number one, it's a passion. If it's a passion, you should be okay for working for free and giving a bit of your time towards that and get the experience, because experience, when you're casting for free, experience is the most valuable things. I'm casting Call of Duty Mobile right now for free, despite this being my job. I am doing it for free because experience to me is a lot more valuable than money. And if you're coming into it with that mindset, you're good. Some people with the mindset, I want to make money, will make it too. You know, and you know, that happens in any job, in any field. I get it. It's cool. But for the most part, you want to go into there like, I'm enjoying esports. I'm enjoying one game specifically. I want to cast this game professionally, so I need to learn. That would be my tip for that kind of person, at least, is to start for free, get some experience, get your portfolio set up also. And then you might be able to open a few doors for yourself and get some revenue later on down the line. But at the start, you just can't be asking too much, because I've seen some people saying, oh, this is my second time casting. I want to be paid like 100 euros for the event per day. And I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. And I literally just kicked them out right away. Said, no, you're not working on my event. Get away. Like, you have no experience yet.
If they're paying that, I might have to start this.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. I think that's fantastic advice. And I think that, you know, following something because it's your passion is is extremely, extremely important. You know, obviously, eventually you do want to get paid for, you know, putting in effort, putting in the work. But I think that's great advice starting out. You know, hey, volunteer for it, get that experience, because like you said, that experience it's everything in that business.
And also be enjoyable to work with. That would be another thing. I see so many people that got like a little bit of an attitude. If you're fine to work with, if you're really chill, that's going to make people want to work with you a lot more and potentially give you paid gigs later on. Like, just be fun to work with, have a fun time, and it'll make things a lot easier for you.
Gotcha. So the second group of people that I would say that I want you to give advice to are the people that have a decent Twitch following. Say they're streaming to 20 to 60 people every stream. You know, they do most of the casting already, so they're doing that live on Twitch, but they don't have any professional experience. They haven't gotten into, into any events. They haven't got invited to any events. They maybe they haven't reached out to anybody about it. What would you give advice, to someone that's a little bit more experienced being on camera, just not in the professional setting?
I would say, very simply, create your own tournaments. It might sound complicated. I've done my own tournaments twice, and I'm going to do that on Wild Rift again. I used to have like 80 viewers on Twitch at the time, and I created what was it's very, like, you're not going to like the name. It was the Maxman Premier League. Wow, very original Maxman.
Like
good job.
I like it.
It was for Vainglory, and I did that, and I actually got like 300 to 400 viewers every single day of the event for like an entire month, which was like, it was super cool. And I got a lot of experience like in doing production, and also by casting, right? And I was like getting viewership, and at the same time I was getting experience. It was like, it's the best of both worlds, and I think that's really good. That's the first tip I would say, is like create your own events if you want, or like collaborate with other people that do events. That's great to do. Second thing I would have to say is mainly also do VOD review. I don't know if you're too familiar with the term VOD review, but it's basically you take a cast that you did, like a tournament that you did, you take it and you watch it back, and you're like, this is trash, this is good. I got to stop doing this. I got to do this a lot more. And normally what you would do, you would get like another caster friend, or like someone that just watches esports a hell of a lot, and watch it with them and ask them, watch this with me. And every single time you see something that you do not like or think is wrong, just destroy me on my casting. I would do that with like professional casting in the time, and we VOD reviewed like as 2-man or 3-man group, and they would watch it and they'd like pause and say, that's absolute garbage. How dare you? I hate you. And they were like, they would destroy me. And like from that I improved, right? Because it is harsh criticism, but at the end, criticism should always be welcome. And you should not fear criticism. Indeed, you should even embrace it. And if you're able to do so, you're going to do great. Like at the start, my casting was absolute garbage. It was trash, and I still got stuff to work and improve on. And I think that if you go in the mindset of like, I want to learn as much as possible, and even when you're at your best, you still want to improve. Like that is the kind of mentality that allows casters to be driven forward and like do big, huge events, is because they always have that drive to move, learn and improve. And if you got that drive, like you can 100% be a caster.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. That's great advice. Dang. I hope y'all better be taking notes.
Well, great life advice, not only for casting, for everything.
Exactly. Y'all better be taking notes right now. And so the third group of people, and this one is a little bit more, I guess you could say, controversial. If you want to, give advice. If not, that's perfectly fine. Female casters. What advice do you have for female casters? Because there is that. I mean, everybody knows, that the casting game is, primarily male. In just about every game that I've seen played, there is a big hole. And I know that a lot of different companies want to work with female casters. So what advice would you give a female caster?
Female casters, we already like just introduced that entire segment. Like it's interesting you mentioned that. It was called like a misogynist like just a few months ago, like actually by someone on, because I was hired for an event in which there was like 100% white people and 100% male people also.
Oh, nice.
And they're like, there's no females that like were taken. Well, fun fact, actually, I was replacement for female. She just couldn't go to the events, you know, do your research already. But like for females, I think I know a lot of great female casters in the esports scene. I know like Pansy, I know Geometrics that works on the Rainbow Six Siege. And there's definitely so much room, and a lot of the people like sponsors and events want to work with a lot more females because they want good female representation. And I think that right now would be the best time for like female casters, or like try and become casters, to get into it. And a tip for me to you already would be just go for it. Like really, it's the same thing for a guy as it is for a girl, in the sense that like if you got good casting skills, no TO, unless maybe a few weird people, but no TO in existence would say, oh, I don't want you because you're a girl. Literally, I have never met someone like that. And people who say that is the case are just fooling themselves. Right. If you go into it and you are damn good at casting, you can't even take my spot away. If you're a girl and you want to start casting PUBG Mobile, like go for it, man. I'm going to be like, you know what? She did it. Hey, good job. I respect that.
She's really good at this.
Like 100% just take the same approach as anyone would do for casting. Get a good portfolio, get some contacts, review your stuff, be open to criticism. And if you're able to do so and a door and opportunity is available at hand, go out, send your portfolio, say, I can do this. Would you be interested in working with me? And most TOs, if they see you got good casting capacities, they're 100% going to say yes. I have never seen a TO say no to that. So really, there's nothing like specific. Just believe in yourself. There's not because the reason why you see so many guy casters and analysts is because guys are better. No, that's not the case. It's because there are not enough women that go out there and say, I want to be a caster, which is unfortunate.
Right.
Like, really, if you would get, like, I'm sure that if there was a lot more women that were interested in getting into esports and casting, you'll have like a 50-50 split. It's just there's not that much of an interest for women, I have the impression.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Well, I think that will about do it. I think I've worn you out enough with questions and everything. But again, I appreciate you coming on and talking to me. Anything you want to close out with, or anything else?
No, I just got to say thanks so much for having me, Dusky, on the channel. Now, I really appreciate that. And being able to talk a little bit about my job, I think is really, really fun to do that from time to time. And I need to go follow Dusky Gaming on Twitch and everything. He does some pretty cool stuff. And if you like purple, that's an extra reason why you should follow him, guys. Like, it's pretty cool. There you go. A lot of he's around. Oh my God, so much around me.
I do have a lot of purple around me. Yeah, and like I said, I'll leave both of his YouTubes as well as his Twitch down in the comment section down there, or not in the comment section, in the description section down there. So
I do the same mistake.
Yeah, all the time. But yeah, y'all be sure to go check him out. Be sure to watch some of his castings, and you can kind of take notes on it. Learn how to be a better caster. So again, Max, appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Hey, thank you. You too, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you have any questions for Maxman, be sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. If you are considering casting as your career, I hope you learned something today. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. All that fun stuff down below. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.